Hello guys, and welcome back. Second series of the night. We're on a roll now. Cloud9 up against CDEC. I'm Durka in the JD Studios. Let's just get straight on into it, shall we? Draft is up. My co-caster's here. Scant. We've talked a lot about what we expect from like Chinese teams and European teams, but now we get to see C9. They're more than just an up-and-coming NI team. They've been, crushing the NA circuit of late. What do you want to see from them against CDEC?
Certainly not the North American team people at the start of the season expected to be the one to watch out for, right? I think some people were suspicious of 1437 when he announced his new roster and said he's playing again, the guys he's playing with. And I think there were even some C9 fans who weren't happy with, like, why are Cloud9 sponsoring this team? But they've, as you said, they've done incredibly at the start of the season. Looked like the strongest team in North America, barring EG maybe, and even EG haven't looked that good so far. I think I was speaking to you in the break, I expect this match to be typified a bit in the same way the previous one was, where Virtus Pro have a new take on how to play Dota right now with a new patch, new meta, and LGD were kind of doing all the old school kind of stuff, and I think that CDEC are likely to do the same thing LGD did there, stick to their guns, which is how they've started this draft with Tusk and Die, very clearly. I think that Cloud9, in contrast, will probably also be doing some of the more new stuff, and that's very clear already in their first pick, Ember Spirit, which is like one of the new kind of up-and-coming, not even up-and-coming, one of the new top carries at the moment, and played extremely well by Ritsu. It must be said is like, there's this meme that goes around Twitter and Reddit and stuff a lot at the moment, Ritsu is the future, but I'm like half sold on that. He's really, really convincing. Almost every game I've watched him, he's just been like really, really convincing as a top player. And honestly, I mean, I didn't follow the North American scene that much, and I had never heard of him before this team. And I think of him as high up there with the best carry players at the moment.
Yeah, like if you want to sort of compare him to someone, people out there like Miracle and Weha, who are high MMR players who kind of just burst into the scene out of seemingly nowhere. There's like a vacuum. There's no new players, no fresh blood, and out they jump thanks to the leaderboards and thanks to ranked matchmaking. Ritsu, yeah, he's definitely got some broad shoulders on him, and that's not a flame to the other players. He's just that good at carrying through games that maybe through the draft or the skill of their opponents has seemed unwinnable. He's managed to find these little ways in and sneak himself through a little more farm than you'd expect, and defeat teams which honestly have, in previous iterations of like teams they've been on before, have a higher skill cap or higher caliber or higher pedigree even, would be the word to say. But Cloud9, they've proved themselves, definitely. Past month and a half, 2 months. They had a little dip in form, I feel, when they first burst out. It was like, oh god, who are these guys? They're amazing. And then it's like, DC, balancing things out with Fire as well, sort of, finding their way, grasping at the NA scene. Then all of a sudden, the surge of power, the strength of Cloud9, them up there. So, to second place in the NA scene, anyway, behind EG.
And other than Ritsu, I would say focus party on 1437 as a captain and drafted. It seems like his time with Secret as their coach has actually benefited him as much as it benefited Secret back then. Because even though he always was a very smart player, analyst, thinker about the game, I feel like his drafting style and just like his thinking about the game seems like that much more perfected and refined and clear since he had that experience as a coach with Team Secret. So definitely one of the top drafters out there at the moment, and for that reason, I'm extremely excited to see what his plan is to do with Tusk Undying, because to my mind, Tusk Undying is, out of all the like disgusting, toxic, aggressive dual lanes, the strongest. I think it's like this is a dual lane that you can't beat, as far as I'm concerned. I think it will regularly beat tri lanes, this dual lane. So, do they try and dodge it and just Darkseer there? Has he thought of a lane that I just haven't thought of? Is their plan to just completely outplay it? But I'm pretty sure we're going to see a Tusk Undying aggressive dual lane, and I'm not convinced that there's a natural way to deal with that. And with the TA pickup, it makes it a safe lane Ember Spirit, which we did expect for Ritsu. But again, it's Ember Spirits. I don't think one of the strong laning heroes, especially when it comes to dealing with this aggression. So my instinct is that they'll try and dodge the lane. Either that, or they're going to pick some insanely strong supports to be able to deal with it.
This is a combo of the Tusk Undying that Fire used to run a lot as well. It was like one of their favored pairings of hero for Whitebeard and Moo. throwing them to the offlane. So if anyone knows how to deal with it, it's going to be one of the NA teams, Cloud9, or DC or someone. But CDEC with the Lina there. Now this is where things start to get interesting, because this is where it goes back to what you were saying. Do they go with the old favorites? Do they pick up like a Phantom Lancer now? Probably not, with the Ember Spirit out there. An Anti-Mage is kind of rough against EA and Ember and Darkseer. So getting Aggressive's hero, Gyrocopter is banned. His options are actually limited. They will have to sort of think outside of the box a little bit at the very least, or I don't know. Do you leave his hero till last, because you're gonna get kind of shoved into a corner here almost.
Well, it looks like they are leaving his hero for last. That's got to be a Shiki Dragon Knight. That means we'll probably see the support Lina being played by Q. I think. And so Aggressive Zero is going to come out right at the end of the draft, and I'm actually kind of excited. I think there's a reasonable chance it might be a new Aggressive hero, or at least I think I agree with you that it's not that likely we see a Phantom Lancer, put it that way, and the Gyro is already banned. And those are, between Gyro, PL, and Queen of Pain, those are like his most played heroes by far.
Yeah. Cloud9, they're rounding things up with the Darkseer Wyvern combo. Discurse into Vacuum, devastating stuff, and they've got the AoE and Splash to actually combo up with it as well. Sleight of Fist, Side Blades, it's all they're looking for now. What that can maybe roam around, you know, and Ogre, something like that potentially. What they'll actually go for. But C9, this ban is such a broad spectrum of heroes that could come out. I'm looking at things that you don't really want to deal with. You know,
I would expect
the TA like a Venomancer.
I would expect Luna. I guess they banned Jagger in the same breath. I would expect a core that's going to group up as 5 and push quite early. And I think Luna DK is like a kind of old school dual core in grouping up and doing that. I think when you pick the Undying Tusk aggressive lane, your plan is definitely to dominate the lanes and convert into quite an early death ball kind of situation. The Juggernaut ban makes sense because the Healing Ward plays a similar role in those sort of group up early fights and push style.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Raze is definitely an option. As I said, the Luna's an option. Do you say Clinks?
Clinks could work, but no, the biggest worry I have here is that with Winter Wyvern Darkseer, you've already got 3 melee heroes. Going for another melee or something, you know, relatively low ranged seems with your Dragon Knight Undying a Tusk. Like, sure enough, Dragon Knight can transform with his ultimate. But, I don't know, a Razor, a Sniper. CDEC, they've pulled Sniper out from time to time. I'm not sure how well it works here, though, you know? You get chased down by the Darkseer. Oh god, they've gone for it.
Because, I mean, the Sniper's always been Shiki, and and I'm pretty sure he's also the Dragon Knights, and they actually just picked the Phantom Lancer, and, I mean, that's a very considered decision. They took a long time, they clearly discussed it. Like, if we're gonna pick PL into Ember Spirits and Darkseer and Wyvern, like, our plan needs to be X or Y or whatever. Now, I think in terms of the Ember Spirits, I still feel like CDEC's draft intends to take control of the game early and then just dominate. And so Ember Spirit is not a concern if that's what happens. If they're just way more farmed, if PL's like 3 items ahead of Ember Spirit, it's not a counter at all. The bigger concern is maybe just that Darkseer Wyvern combo, which is also very effective against, well, just everything, but particularly effective against PL. And the fact that you have the Darkseer with the Ember Spirit means that with a bit less farm, earlier on, going to be active as a counter. Because that's, I mean, Cloud9 first picked Ember Spirits, and part of that is that they really like running the hero, but you got to think that part of it is also that they know that CDC really like the PL. And despite that, this far through the draft, we still see a last pick PL.
Interesting to notice, Alchemist is not at all by either team. Now, with Cloud9, I'm still looking for that sort of roaming frontline support hero that can go and do stuff early on. Whether it be the Ogre or, I don't know, a Witch Doctor or something, walk in and cast people.
Where are they going to do stuff, though? Because, I mean, if you look at the lane stage, are you sold on, I was saying that C9 tried dodge, just lane the Darkseer against the Undying and Tusk. Do you agree with that, or do you think they could try and actually just lane against it regularly with a defensive tri-lane?
Difficult. If you have someone with sustain, like a Witch Doctor, someone with a heal, potentially go for Dazzle, and you could click down the Tombstone in a couple of hits. It's got early on. Okay, Ancient Apparition. Then you've got the damage. Oh god, that's disgusting. Now, in pub games, you know, when you're feeling particularly naughty and you've lost 200 MMR in a night, you say to your teammates, right, let's go and do some really nasty offlane. We'll do, I don't know, Undying and Jakiro, Undying Veno, Undying Tusk. Let's go and do an Undying dual lane offlane. And then what you're faced with is bloody Ancient Apparition Chilling Touch and the Arctic Burn from Winter Wyvern harassing you from a million range with the extra damage. Can't actually do the aggressive plays or pull any little sneaky things off that you'd like to.
Yeah, Ancient Apparition, it's got to be one of the best heroes to deal with the situation. That said, I mean, it's one of those swingy things. We see Wyvern, AA, and Ember going up against Undying Tusk. If after the first Chilling Touch they haven't made a kill, suddenly they're very weak until the next Chilling Touch, like extremely weak. But if they can get value anyway in a 3v2 situation against that dual lane, it's going to be worth Chilling Touch, and I can certainly see them just make kills. And also, Ancient Apparition is like the hero that 1437 plays pretty much every game at the moment. I think he started picking it as a counter to Alchemist, but he's just ended up thriving on the hero in general, and he TP'd to the bot lane here, wanted to find the ward, but got you a bit too late. XZ actually TP'd there too, but arrived a bit earlier than him. So, it also... Does he get a sentry sent to him? Because yeah, here comes the sentry from Garda. So, I think 1437's ward is going down.
Oh, Garda. There we go. Passed over. So Undying is going to be down here alone. Garda on your Tusk, supporting away. Down on the bottom lane, the Undying, and safe lane aggressive on his Phantom Lancer. And you know, this was one of the heroes that got them to place at TI5 along with the Gyrocopter and maybe the Queen of Pain a little bit. But I'm just so unsure about this. So unsure. MSS, Darkseer off lane. I like that he's got his little anime name. And...
Look at 1437. I think he knows.
Pinged it, yeah. He pinged here.
Because his ward got counted, he must know, okay, there was a ward up that saw me beforehand.
Well, he even pinged before the ward got counted out. Like, as soon as he warded and then ran back this way, he was already pinging in this area.
The battle begins.
So let's see, he's holding 2 sentries. I'll be pretty surprised, especially because this spawn is not blocked. I'll be pretty surprised if he doesn't find that observer ward. As you said, yeah, Tusk looks like he's not starting as an aggressive lane. Pretty respect for that AA pick as we discussed. Be interesting to see his rotations around the map. I mean, we spoke last game about MMY's roaming Tusk, and when it comes to moving around the map and playing Tusk in the early game fights and the mid game and late game fights, I don't think you'll find a Tusk better than Garda. I mean, and if you do, it might actually be XZ, his teammates in this team. One of the things that made them so successful at TI5, they were just so impeccable at using this hero, which is like one of the heroes of the year, if you had to ask me.
You're up at top, Light Strike Array level 1. That's taking a little bit of a battering there. Well done at bottom lane, Ritsu. Down, there you go, he heals himself up. The spam out decay from XZ. A little bit irritating, but Brax in middle lane should have a decent time against the Dragon Knight. DK is a hero that we just don't see anymore, you know. Lexity ran it a lot in the NA qualifiers, and did they run it at all during the TI5 main event?
I think they might have run it once or twice. Outside of that, the team that I think of when I see Dragon Knight at the moment is probably actually like Vega Squadron. It is a hero that they've run. There's some CIS teams that have run it, and well, look at Brax farming just behind Shiki's tower. It's
denying behind his tower and getting the splashback as well.
It has turned out to be this aggressive dual lane, by the way, but that's pulled SVG, and it will be that 2v3 exactly as we described. Maybe we'll see. I'm not sure what level C9 wait for, but I think maybe once there's level 2 on the supports, they actually make an aggressive move themselves. I'm not too sure.
Worrying thing is that, well, for CDEC anyway, how do they play aggressively into this? Push the wave, they're going to go and try and contest the pull here, but the pull isn't happening. You know, SVG is standing over. No bull. They're going to catch him. Looks like walk into a stack as well, with the ice shards out. Oh, there we go. Flies over. And you're not catching the flappy ice woman.
Yeah, if the Wyvern's at the lane and the AA is over there, that's an easy kill. But just because it happens to be Wyvern, very effective support here against the Tusk.
Our Garda is invis. Go and look for Ritsu. He's made a little wander over to the side shop, gets his poor man's shield all finished up. Look at the offlane of the Radiant, you know. MSS actually going all the way back to base, not using Angle or his Clarity to heal up his mana pool there. Go back to the fountain, buy soaring recipe, I guess, something like that. Maybe you buy boots in this situation. I'm not sure. He gets TP anyway, and lane.
Got it. Is he gonna use this invis?
Waiting, just waiting. Thing like, how do you play aggressively into this? You're walking into chains, flame guard, stick charges, which will, you know, happen. They'll so we'll get it. Interesting.
Well, there's the chilling touch, and now I honestly think if CDEC just stay back until chilling touch runs out, then get aggressive, they could actually win 2v3 in a fight.
Gonna try and do SVG. Got no Arctic burn, but look at that, the shot! Not in place! Ritsu walks in with the chains and the flame guard. Guard has got no escape from this. 5-stick shot might be enough to keep him alive for a couple of seconds more, but Ritsu just runs him down. Soul rip. Yep, there's your first blood. Ember Spirit picks that one up.
It's a strange. I mean, they didn't wait out the chilling touch. There was still some chilling touch residual hits, and they've gone the Wyvern yet again. So I think impatient actually by CDEC in that case. But yeah, you were gonna refer to the last hits, and there's a lot of people getting good last hits, except for basically MSS. There's 5 heroes getting decent last hits. Definitely must be said aggressive's the one with all the denies though, and that kind of corresponds to MSS getting just about nothing in this lane.
Yeah, if there's anyone that can play Aftermancer against the Darkseer, it's aggressive. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't have a Quelling Blade either, which is the scariest thing. You know, you see PLs with Quelling Blades, with Ring Backroll, with everything, just to try and deal with the DS. So Q done his job as well. Light Strike Array and throwing out his Dragon Slaves just to try and deal with this little Darkseer charging around. But mid was the one I was going to look at. If you take a look at Brax, he is outlast hitting this Dragon Knight quite significant. And then you can go and stack up Ancients, you can flash farm the jungle. Something that Dragon Knight really falls flat on his face in regards to keeping up the acceleration of farm. Because TA accelerates at like key points. You hit sort of level 7, you go and take Ancient stacks, you farm and you get key runes to go and kill people off. Dragon Knight, he's level 6 and he's like, I'm gonna slowly take your tower over time. But it's this really sort of watching paint dry kind of farming. It's never quick, bursty to get himself to that next item.
Dragon Knight's being ganked.
Yeah. Brax trap. Hit down by Shiki. What? Down to half HP, but SVG, where's he going?
Oh, he's just going to ward, because they can't kill top. There's no way they can kill top, so this smoke is just to get up a ward.
See the courier coming in as well.
Does he try kill the courier? That's very ambitious.
Apparently he does. Walking the low, no, he's given up. He's given up. I'm not gonna make it there in time. I'm slow. My smoke ran out, and I've got boots, but I'm still not that quick on my feet. Down the bot lane, pull spot is contested here by Garda and XZ. Got themselves into the thick of things. Again, this is a lane that CDEC wanted to go and dominate. They wanted to get kills on Ember, stop him farming, and they have failed on both fronts.
I mean, he has a lot less farm than the Phantom Lancer, so there's some success in that sense. I mean, they really didn't want to feed him a kill. That's definitely not what they wanted. But like I said during the drops, I think if PL is consistently much more farmed than Ember Spirit is definitely not a counter to PL in that situation. But Snowball in the bot lane actually, this is an attempt on Ritsu.
He's got Hades. He'll get himself away. Oh wait, hang on a second, he turns to fight. The tombstone is up. He's got 10, okay, he's got 10 stick charges, that's why. Baiting out the tombstone from CDEC, so that's down now for a good minute or so.
Meanwhile, mid lane.
Gone. Yeah, you're right, Shiki. Low, trapped, and Brax has got a DD rune here, but he's still a little bit worried about what TP potential comes in from CDEC as aggressive up at top. He could go for a mango here. Interesting.
Q's being chased down in his jungle, deep at his tier 2.
Will he die though? We've seen 3 chases and no deaths. He gets behind the tier 2 and nobody dies. 4 heroes or so get down to low HP, but nobody drops.
Dragon Knight's a hero that I think is never really expected to win his lane. I think he's always expected to go like just slightly less farm.
Well, now he's dead.
Speaking of Dragon.
Charges, hang on a second, he TP's out. No, he's not dead, I was wrong. Good TP, good awareness there, even with Garda TPing in. Probably not going to get him killed anyway. Down a bot lane though. In goes Ritsu, and the Spirit jumps forward, finds the kill on the Undying.
Second the Tusk TP's out, they're aware of it, they go in. Like, excellent methodical play by Cloud9. It's like not giving them a minute to breathe and recognize, hey, I'm not safe here, Tusk is gone.
CDEC. PL is farming decently, but we all know how aggressive likes to play. He likes to get his treads, Aquila, and then his drums, and then he goes and fights. Goes and battles it out with people quite a lot of the time. But in this situation, can you go and fight with the god? I guess you can a little bit. The Lina is one of these heroes where from the support role, like a Vis, needs some time to farm and stay on lane. It's the last of your ultimate. Brax is in here, actually snowballed up, he's got his melt strike.
Is really when it's lane, it's always expected to get some value. And the interesting thing you pointed out about how it doesn't keep up in flash farm jungle or anything, there's a very small change they can make to the hero and it would completely be viable in that way, and that's just that his level 11 ulti needs to be at level 6, because once you have that level 2 ulti, you can farm stacks just as well as anyone else. In fact, Dragon Knight with like treads and sand, which can farm an ancient stack. He doesn't need items even to do it. But it's just like other heroes start farming jungle ancients at level 7 and he has to start at level 11.
Your Skype popped up on stream for a couple of seconds, so expect people to add you and DDoS you. Fun with that.
Oh goodness.
Right, we're ready to go. Did I switch the overlay? Yeah, I did. Oh god, Ritsu's joined in. Remnant spams through into the middle of them. Damage up was great here, but he's stunned up by the Light Striker. He turned back around on, but Melt Strike out. Brax to finish him off guard. Tries the ice shots, blocked, but Ritsu and Brax just rolling through the hole with the Tombstone dying. Dying, and Dragon Knight, they're tanky, but they don't have the mage. Aggressive wants to go back in, but Surge up onto the Ember Spirit will get him away. Meanwhile, 437 is farming at the bottom lane, getting up to his level 6.
My patch is literally not done yet. It's like South African internet. I'll be there in a second.
Apparently, Dragon Knight caused brilliant. Amazing. Excellent stuff.
In what way does that make sense?
If his ultimate expires, maybe? I don't know. It's just something someone posted in chat. I have no idea. Probably lying. It's not Twitch chat though, so I'm inclined to believe a chat that's not Twitch.
Well, certainly more than Twitch.
Just a little bit more. Well, so we've got all the casters back in as well.
Yeah, I'm back in. There's action bot lane. It's actually finally a kill for CDEC. As they finally isolate the support hero they can kill, which is 1437's Ancient Apparition, who's got himself Gloves of Haste, going straight to that Midas.
Yeah, he does. He does. Queue up at top. I've put a safe lane for the Lina, which is, you know, what you need to do. But it's MSS over on the Starks here. 1-0-1 now.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Decent levels, up to 5. Mac not too far away. And stacking these Ancients for the Templar Assassin is going to be great. Take a look at CDEC. 4 heroes at the bottom lane. You know what C9 say? Yeah, screw you, we're going to go and farm top. We don't want to fight. We don't want to brawl with your Tombstone Undying and your Dragon Knight Dragon form. Go and trade. Trade tier 1s. We'll get the farm advantage. Clear out your jungle while we're at it.
It's so important to be able to make these kind of decisions early on in the game. So often teams feel like, I mean, if you're Cloud9, you're several kills ahead, you kind of know you have a bit of a gold and XP lead. Well, actually no, only gold lead, not XP lead, but that's because of the 2v3 lane. I think that there's potential to think we're ahead, we should just always contest when they try and do things. And I think you can really run into trouble if you do that, so it's intelligent decision making from Cloud9, knowing what to do.
And here we go, they check out if there's any stacks, if there's anything in the enemy jungle, and they're getting that little bit more, but what Shiki's doing as well, with the help of the Tombstone, XZ, clears out these little jungle camps. Now, where has Aggressive gone? Get up the top lane. Look at the spread, this is like so indicative of how high tier and high skilled and the actual calls coming out of their captains are, both of these teams. spread of the players, the spread of the heroes. They're not all clumped up in one place, panicking and, you know, shuddering behind their towers. They're spread, they're farming. They know that there's not going to be a fight imminent, because both teams are doing the same. They'll now group up as CDEC to go and look for a fight, because that's what they want. They want to try and bait Cloud9 into something. And maybe even contest Ancients up.
So many big level 6s. Tusk just got his. Lena's really close, Wyvern's really close, AA just got his as well. And all of these supports have extremely significant ultis.
Middle tower is under attack.
They off to. 1437 knows what's up. They don't smoke to play aggressively. They've actually gone and farmed their own jungle a little bit here, while Cheeky is alone towards the mid lane, slowed by the Arctic Burn and traps. But I'll go in too deep for this. Ritsu's down a bot with his drums nearly complete, while aggressive. Going for the drums as well. A little bit of a different route there. What are we looking at net worth-wise anyway? Yeah, there's almost nothing in between the PL and the Ember Spirit, and this is the worrying thing, right? The Ember Spirit, if he's behind, then okay, the PL can start running over the rest of the team. But if the Ember Spirit is on equal foot, this TA is actually racing ahead of everyone. That's where it starts to get scary.
I mean, PL deals with TA very, very well. So if TA were the only problem, that's again not a huge issue. But you're right. If Ember and PL are about the same amount of farm, basically PL needs Lina, Dragon Knight, and Tusk to just like down that Ember Spirit every fight, just deal with Ember Spirits. Then he's kind of happy. Ritsu's playing really well though, and doesn't just get dealt with, and that's kind of the Ritsu we've come to know recently. Then the fact that his farm is kind of on par is a major issue, I would say.
Even SVG has arcane boots. No Garda on this Tusk and Q over on that Lina. To lag behind a little bit. What do you expect from the Dragon Knight here, as item builds go anyway?
I wouldn't be that shocked if he like just rushes the Blink or Shadow Blade, because they clearly do want to be aggressive and try and like force the pressure. I mean, standardly you just see a BKB or SNY rush, but if you want to get active very, very early, sometimes that Blink or Shadow Blade just to force things out. And he saved a lot of gold. I feel like if you're going for the BKB or SNY, you could just buy the Ogre Club at some point. It's not like a stage of the game where you're saving buyback. That's why I think he might be rushing one of the ganking tools.
I feel Blink. That's what I was going to come to. Like, sometimes you go for the drums, sometimes the SNY, like you said, and the other choices. Shadow Blade, I feel, is in the same boat as BKB, where you buy the component now. Maybe you're just thinking about where are you going with this. But Blink Dagger against all of these heroes, you know, the Darks here, Ember Spirit even, just blink in and stun. We used to see it all the time from especially Southeast Asian Dragon Knights. I think Trust were one of the first teams to really pioneer this against Storm Spirit in particular. Blink Dragon Knight. You blink, you Dragon Tail. That's where you can start the fight rolling. Snowball in, you get the PL into the mix as well.
Brax is farming Ancients again. And he's got a DD in his bottle again, and he's close to his Desolator.
You give this
I don't want to say
dragon
again.
1437, right?
Yeah, that seems right. I mean, this is Midas.
Come on, Brax.
Oh. Nope. I mean, 1437 is not a huge rush, to be honest. The Desolator on is probably actually more significant. Because if the game's going well for C9, then AA will get to his Midas, will get to his Axe for sure.
Gotta get that Midas. Got to get that Midas. Over on CDEC's side, XZ is actually stacking up Ancients of his own. Carrying these out, in the Dragon Knight, sure can go in for that. He's just picked himself up a Blink Dagger, so that's going for that aggressive play, jump himself in. Been very static for the past couple of minutes though. After the fight up at the top rune spot, CDEC feel almost afraid of running into the thicket.
It's key items and timings. They need DK level 2 ulti if they want to farm Ancients, and they need DK's Blink if they want to fight. They've got both now, so we'll see one of those two things, I'm pretty sure. But they're going to be running into that TA's Desolator, so it's something they need to contain.
So DD as well. That DD rune bottled, and she's hit 442 point, where she's got max refraction and max melt strike. The fact that SVG is level 7, closing on level 8, the Winter Curse is such a great counter-initiation tool that if they don't jump the Winter Wyvern, they could potentially just lose the fight straight up.
Oh, they're gonna jump someone.
God.
It's happening soon.
Darkseer's here. They've got Curse Vacuum combo. They've got to jump soon, they've got to jump now. Tombstone drops, there's SVG, they've caught him. The Winter Wyvern is gonna get stunned up, and into oblivion, but in comes the Ice Blast, gonna land onto Shiki, Dragonite's caught, and Brax, 1 hit, 2 hit, down goes the Tusk for the third. Life Striker is gonna miss, the wall is off the mark a little bit there, and Brax just get nuked down by the Laguna Blade. Great play, saving up aggressive, but Ritsu joins the party, stunned up with the ALSA. XZ's still caught up in those chains, and with Flame Guard, he's not gonna have quite enough damage to stop going through the fight. So what is that, a 2 for 1? CDEC get a decent trade there and they can get themselves back to farming, but that was scary. That was almost a really, really rough fight for them.
Yeah, that AALT just like ominous. It's funny because in the previous series, I said we saw something similar where LGD were doing kind of old school draft, VP were doing kind of new school draft, and game 1 AA dominated LGD, and then it got banned. I feel like AA might be a key hero in causing trouble for CDEC in this game as well, especially on 1437. He's been such an excellent AA player recently, almost always on point with those ultis, and in those kinds of fights, if a couple more heroes are hit in the ulti, and like 1 or 2 more things go the right way for C9, all of a sudden it's a team wipe. You really, I mean, the AA ulti just can't be understated. If it completely misses, all of a sudden the CDEC just like rampage through everyone. If it hits everyone, exact opposite.
Yeah. Now, I'm gonna bring up something that I know Clairvoyance has spoken quite vocally about, and I feel quite the same way. And I've talked to a couple of other people about this as well. The stagnation of item builds and item progression on certain heroes. You know, seen it from Phantom Lancer time and time again. This exact build: Bottle, Aquila drums, and BOTs. And sure, it gives you mobility, gives you a bit of tankiness, adds out your stat in the early game. But if you do want to fight early with the Phantom Lancer, it doesn't give you the same as an S and Y or an early Diffusal Blade or anything like that. Now, this is the build that is basically taken up a majority of the time, but how does it save you in situations like this? When you're farming alone, the rest of your team are looking to fight, you become that the one hero that the other 4 are trying to protect. It just doesn't work out.
To be fair, in situations like that, it doesn't matter what items you have, you're dead.
It's not just the items though, it's the thought process behind the items as well. You know, you've become the anti-mage style Phantom Lancer. You're split pushing, you're farming, and that's what the item set enables. It enables you to split push and farm alone.
That's
with
2
drums
hits.
and BOTs, so Brax, are you gonna 1v2 these guys? Lena's gone. Missed that one, but Shiki on the retreat out.
I was looking at that. Brax had an inverse rune in his bottle. It's like pretty much unfair for Lena. Inverse rune walks up to Lena, 2 hits, dead. I mean, it was almost 1 hit. It was very close to a 1-hit kill. 80% of her HP after 1 hit. Yeah, here's the Dragonite farming the Ancients with the help of the Tombstone. Not actually necessary. I'm pretty sure Dragonite can just clear Ancients if he hides a bit, but actually mid lane is Ritsu's gone in on Garda, and they'll come back to the Ancients seeing that there's nothing urgently requiring their attention.
The Lawnmower, Iron Shell Flame Guard, and this, actually thinking about it, I've talked about this a bunch over the past couple of days with Skim casting with him. We've seen a lot of Darkseer, Ember, a lot of AA and Ember, but it's this sort of trifecta combo as SVG gets jumped on here massively. Stunned out, but Arctic Burn gonna fly over the cliff and still back to safe. Trifecta of aggressive and scary skills here. Iron Shell Flame Guard together, and long range Ice Blast. So you've got global power from the remnants from the jumping around of Ember Spirit, find kills anywhere on the map. TA traps to give you the vision to find those kills, and then Iron Shell with Flame Guard to give you the damage to actually secure. We just see it a lot from Swedish teams with this combo, but actually it's not going to work too well here as no remnant jump back for Mr. Ember Spirit. Turned into oblivion. Chain locked down.
There's a lot of big pickup at the moment. TA just got Blink, also just bottled the haste. Undying just finished mech. So it's actually, I want to say both teams are very kitted out to have some extremely successful fights in the next 5 minutes or so. And it's going to be quite circumstantial depending on how the fight starts, what the positioning is. And there's a lot in both teams' hands and the players' hands in terms of the execution.
I want to jump in on this. VG is lining it up for the ulti. They've got the Darkseer Vacuum. Oh, he's got the TP in. Got the TP in. They're TPing into the tier 2 here. Oh, they're going to go for this. Defense of the tier 1. They're getting ready to run in. Ice Blast launched out. It's not going to hit. Good split out from CDEC. But still, SVG is surge. He's going to want this curse down onto multiple heroes, but they're going to lose the tier 1. They can't deny. Can't stop dropping either.
It almost felt like they knew that It's like if you bunch in a certain way for AA, you can predict exactly where he's going to ulti to, because obviously you were all standing in a place where you could all be hit, and then you know exactly how to split when it's coming. I'm not sure if that's if I'm like giving them way too much credit, but the fact that it ends up hitting nobody and they split in exactly the perfect way, it's pretty cool foresight.
They lose out a little bit, but what can they gain from this movement? 1437 is 1-1-1. His net worth is going to start skyrocketing a little bit with that Midas, and the fact he's already got a point booster, so straight up back at him is going to be where he heads into. Oh, SVG, you unlucky bugger. Sentry's already placed down there. The CDEC know exactly what's going on. As soon as they step up with this illusion, they'll see the observer. Oh, as illusion expires, they don't see it just yet. But they'll get it. They'll get it.
Radiant's bottom
Yeah,
tower
Ritsu I think has lagged a little bit behind now. He did pick up that one death, but he's got himself his own travels and he'll be TPing around the map and staying steadily in the right place. Darkseer is also very close to what is almost certainly going to be his own blink dagger. And if he hits that blink timing, it's again another huge item that allows them to just completely stomp a fight if the right fight presents itself. It's actually even though there's not a lot of fighting going on, this game feels very tense to me. It feels like at any minute either team could just like wipe the other team.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Arena. Duels and Arcanes. Already picked up, but that's the blink drag you were mentioning. How both of these teams, you said it a couple of minutes ago, they're getting the tools and they're filling their kit with the stuff they need to fight. User played not too far away from aggressive as well. Closer and closer to this battle point. While Ritsu, too hot. A little more farming time, so the rest of his team's going to make up for this. Either sit behind him and really safeguard this farm and try and bait fights elsewhere for CDEC to sort of case of ghosts. Got a little run around, but Brax. God, is this the play? Can you kill aggressive here? It's gonna be a difficult one.
It shouldn't be possible. If aggressive is ready, it really shouldn't be possible. Yeah, it's just a cheeky hit and blink away. And again, a smoke from the other four heroes. It's interesting because so often we've seen CDC, especially at TI, fighting around aggressive, and this game they're choosing a lot of smoke plays without him. So one of the smokes gets revealed there, and that might actually alert C9 to the fact that there's a whole lot of other heroes there too, not just the Undying. But unfortunate, it's just running past that mid lane, and yeah, there's that line drawn from 1437 saying they're all coming there.
Brax, run! Run for the hills, or do you want to fight this? They're TPing. How many? 3? Going up here. Okay, the Ice Blast, the 4th hero. It's actually flying out, but take a look. CDEC, they all juke and jive. Tiki's still caught with a triple ulti though. The Ice Blast trail with Curse and Wall. Aggressive, jumped on. Got a vacuum. They can actually bring aggressive back. He tries to TP to the Darkseer. It's not happening. Surge up onto Brax. He runs himself forward, and that's it. Aggressive dead, down and out. The rest of CDEC will retreat themselves, but you're 1 and 2 all heroes dying there.
Yeah,
really,
it's
really disastrous for CDEC.
I think a little bit cheeky by aggressive. He wanted to stay and make sure that tier 1 went down. It was clear the Dragon Knight would die and they couldn't do anything about it at that point because he was below the tower and the rest of the team except for aggressive was above the tower. But I think aggressive staying around is maybe just asking for trouble, and trouble's what he gets. And out to Roshan for Cloud9, which I just don't think can be contested. It's yet another DD rune on tier with this later. You just
3rd or 4th DD rune, honestly. He's taking a bit of damage here though. Luckily the Roshan goes on to SVG, but look at that. Sigil, Tombstone, the stuff being spammed out. Oh, from the side, Ice Blast gonna land onto He dodges? No, he doesn't dodge. He's gonna get taken out by the Ice Blast here. Shatter, imminent, taken out, up on the high ground. Ritsu, killed off by zombies. Well, hit anyway. But they've got Aegis, they've got the Roshan, and this is one of the biggest strengths of this TA. Farm agents, farm jungle. With a desk to blink, you're aggressive, defensive, and farming all at the same time. It's just one item build that ticks all the boxes. You don't have to be diverse with your item builds on this hero. You can go for the same build every time. Desolate to blink, BKB, crit. If you want to fit the crit in before the BKB, fine. If you feel that's where it's going to go, then perfectly fine.
Yeah, and I keep making these comparisons to the previous series we cast, Virtus Pro versus LGD, but it's got to be said that it's a similar dynamic, right? Where Virtus Pro just had stronger position to rush all the time and kind of pointed LGD to come contest and won a fight as a result. And it's similar here where Cloud9 just have that really easy route to rushing. And CDEC feel like they need to contest and end up giving away not just the rush, but a pickle.
God. Oh, aggressive. Cancel here. He's going to try and turn and fight onto SVG. But Rax just comes in. He's going to melt strike down an illusion. Oh, are they really baiting this? SVG is healing himself up. They don't know which one's real just yet. And this little jump over with that doppelganger is going to make it even more difficult. Now they know. Now, okay. Well, now they know. I guess aggressive. He's got doppelganger in a second. He's just going to be able to use it. No, he can't escape from this. Sleight of fist from Well, finally the kill, but he made that so difficult for them.
Yeah, even though he dies, that's a lesson to anyone watching this, PL players. Just the fact that he kept grouping all his illusions together after each banger. There was never a time where he ran his main on its own. And it makes it really difficult actually to discover what's going on, because there's just all these PLs all the time and keep getting confused about which one is real.
There's AoE damage coming out, but still incredibly tough for them. That's the real one. But Brax has his BKB completed with Aegis as well, and how are we looking? Ritsu, where's your Battle Fury?
Dire's top
Still
tower is under
looking
attack.
300 or so gold away from that, but take a look down in bottom lane. MSS got the smell
Dire's top tower
of blood.
has fallen.
Goes the Lina running away. You will make his escape, but Radiant Observer Ward's very defensive, like hyper defensive, I want to say. Watching out in their own jungle and towards his bottom rune spot.
I would like to know what Garda buys. Oh, he's just answered that he bought a Sange. So he's gonna be going into a Halberd, I guess.
I don't see a massive reason to go Halberd, Silver Edge, sorry. S and Y is a little bit wonky on your Tusk as well. You don't really see Sand and Yasha. Yeah, I'm 100% behind that Halberd.
I thought he might just get a Glimmer Cape. Halberd might be more of a recognition. Look, the Ember's gotten farm. The TA's gotten farm. We haven't got to that point where we could just completely shut them out of the game, so we're gonna have to deal with their farm. We're going to still keep approaching for fights though, and there's still an Aegis for 2 minutes as we've just seen in the pop-up. So I don't know, it looks like CDC just fights straight into Aegis. This is a risk, I would say.
Take a look at 1437. His positioning is, it was perfect. He's going to get scouted out here. They know he's there. The snowball forward, but DK has already run in the middle of the rest of the team. AA will get his ulti off, and it flies way north. And with a tombstone down, it looks like C9 want to try and clear up that tombstone before they continue the fight proper. They will be able to do that. SVG takes a bunch of new face. Cheeky jumps over the top as well and kills off the Winter Wyvern, but Brax is chasing Garda down on the side. Will kill off the Tusk. And this is a 2-for-2 trade so far. Aggressive. He's just really joining the team fight now. With the chains down, Brax still got the Aegis. He can run himself through this. Trap to slow XZ, but the illusions, they're stopping the advance. Can't really slow down this Templar Assassin. Meanwhile, over to the side, the Battle Fury cleave. Cheeky, low armor, dead. The Dragonite gonna drop, and aggressive. I don't know if they can chase him. Don't know if they can actually catch it. Oh no. There we go. Flight Fist finishes him, but aggressive gets away. Phantom Lancer does make his retreat.
Well, I think considering the fact that there's an Aegis up on TA, it's like a really brave fight. EC didn't do that badly. I mean, they definitely lost the fight, but impressive that they didn't get demolished in that fight. And for the start of the fight, I want to say Shiki played really well. Brax actually might just give up his Aegis here. He's got no mana.
Yeah, why the hell not? It's going to expire in, what, 45 seconds or something anyway, but...
Does he just die again, though?
There's Ice Blast incoming. I think he goes for the kill. Fraction Melt, kill aggressive. Oh, he doesn't refract. There we go. Turn back. One hit kill. There we have it. Now Trap is slow, but he does die.
That's not worth it for Brax.
Yeah, it was good timing on the LSA, honestly.
Yeah, that's true. If the LSA doesn't hit, it's all kinds of story, but... I wonder if it's possible. I mean, if Brax is spamming BKB as he spawns, is it possible to get the timing that right with the stun that he just doesn't get the BKB off? It's one of those tough things, because I feel like with the Yule's combo against BKB, it doesn't work. I think you can BKB, no matter what the timing is.
I think Clairvoyant said to me that there is like a frame where you can, but it's very, very difficult.
It's like 0.1 second
It's
or something.
ridiculously small period of time where you get to do that. 3-7. Oh dear. Yeah, he's pretty tanky to be fair. Oh god, he's got so much money on him. Spend your money, spend your money. Ice Blast back onto XZ. He's got that down and good for him. But in comes the MSS Dogs here. Slight chains, good catch onto Garda. Snowball not available. But in jumps the Vacuum Wall from MSS. Catches 3 of them. And they'll actually be able to turn its Remnant back and out. As Darkseid kills off the Tusk. So much has been expended and thrown here. The Dragonite blinking in really spooked But Ritsu gets the farm at mid. It looks like he's going for a Lincoln's.
The scary thing for CDEC though is that the tier was dead for that whole fight, and they still got kind of chased away by the Darkseers jump in. And that's, I think, a little bit worrying for them, that without the TA, Cloud9 can still like rebuff them. But, I mean, maybe not that worrying, considering that they're gonna get more farm and they're gonna become more scary themselves.
What do you reckon? Lincoln's or second half of Fury?
I would say it's got to be a Lincoln's. He's been stunned too many times by Dragon Knights. He's been gone on too many times by Tusk.
Dragon Knight's done. Gotta get it.
I mean, it's double Battle Free just seems like the greedier approach, and Ritsu seems like one of the things that's important about this player is that he's. Let's just say if he buys Battle Free, I'll probably try and figure out why Battle Free was the right decision. Because I feel like he's just generally right in his itemization. Like, got a very nuanced understanding of exactly when to itemize and which way. To me, it seems obvious that it's Lincoln's, but I'll, you know, kind of reprimand myself if it Battle Free rather than disagreeing with him.
That's the build, dude. That's the build. That's all you ever hear. The Ritsu, is that the build? Yep, that's the build.
Yep, he's bought an ultimate orb. He's going Lincoln's. That's the build.
it's definitely the build, honestly. Now, CDEC, their early aggression really has been thwarted here by Cloud9. Got Mech Glimmer Medallion on XZ, aggressive has his Diffusal Blade, but he's going back into a Manta style. I was worried during the draft, and I'm still worried for their progression in this game. Q is the only hero here, the Lina. But I've been really kind of fond of her progression, you know, Arcanes into Yule Scepter, getting into that level 11 relatively quickly. It's the sort of dynamic of this lineup. There's very little synergy.
Spiders are gonna have a Hellbird ready soon. I feel like even if Ember Spirit is a Lincoln's, they can find ways to get rid of that and then just Hellbird him. And Ember Spirit is not gonna be in a position where he wants to then rush a BKB, but might actually have to if he gets focused by the Hellbird all the time.
Punching Ancients. Oh, let's clear through this. And again, I mentioned it, what, 6 or 7 minutes into the game, when both teams, well, when Cloud9 were doing the fights very early on, but the spread of their heroes on both teams was pretty stellar. Now you look at how the game has changed. 34 minutes in, the spread of Cloud9 is very good. In their own jungle, enemy jungle, lane, mid lane, bot lane, farming everywhere. And where was CDEC? 5 heroes farming Ancients. They're all grouping up because they know they need to. They can't get picked off, they can't get jumped on by... You know, Cloud9 won't be afraid to use Winter Earth to get a solo pick-off on a core. If they kill off a core, that's a tier 2, or maybe even push up into tier 3. And when Roshan respawns in a couple of seconds, definitely a Roshan.
Yep, that's why I was comparing to the previous series. I assume that Cloud9 presume that they're entitled to all the rushes this game, and there's not much that's going to be done about it. I feel like Cloud9 are very far ahead right now. Completely within reach of being outplayed. They'd have to be pretty heavily outplayed, but if they do get outplayed in a fight, still lose that fight for sure. Especially if TA or Ember Spirit get picked off really early on, and let's say Ancient Apparition misses his ulti on everyone, because he's picked up on Alex, by the way. So even if one of the cores dies, if he hits a good ulti and the other core is just doing work, that's probably enough for their team to win a fight.
I was about to complain about Cloud9 grouping up as 5 to take Ancients themselves, but at least they smoke up and go and do something. They're looking towards the Roche pit, pinging it out. There's a vigil in here. I see it. Guards with the traps and the vortex. They will know what's going on. Now CDEC, they've got a gem on the Lina. There's one over on that Undying, and there's no vision of them just yet. Cloud9 are playing very, very cautiously here. They don't know exactly what's up, but they will know if CDEC go into the Roche pit. Probably will know. And start running down towards them. So Brax is hiding here pretty sneakily in the trees. But who do they put up front?
CDEC can't afford to lose this fight. I would say C9 could...
Brax will kill them.
Probably.
Definitely. He's seen them, and now they jump forward like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Oh god, Ritsu! The Lincoln just popped, they didn't know he had it, and then they jump. Ice Slash, that's gonna land onto a couple of heroes. Good curse there, as Garda's trapped in with Shiki. Glimmer came back with his BKB up, and aggressive. He's running back and forth. He can't choose a target, doesn't know who to go on. Garda now battling into Brax, and he might take down the TA, slowly but surely burning through the mana and the refraction. But over on the side, Ritsu, SVG, who have you found? clearing through some illusions, and now looking for the Undying. That should be a simple takedown. 2 for 1 so far, and Aggressive has gone back in here. Trying to get into F1437, looks like he's got the burn, he's got the purge, and he's got the damage output. Goose Glimmer, but not good enough. Fritzy turns, but the Flame Guard will finish him off, and Phantom Lancer's down. In blinks SVG, Q. Nice, Sweet Prince. One hero remaining once again for CDEC, but this time it's not the Phantom Lancer, it's the Undying.
Aggressive's actually playing very, very well in these fights, just recognizing that he should isolate the TA to start with. Coming back in and just giving it a go later on, I think is even maybe a defensible decision. I mean, TA actually just doesn't handle PL at all, so if she gets isolated fighting PL, she's dead, regardless of what's happening in the rest of the fights. Like, I kind of want to say that game's going really badly for CDC, and it's not because they picked PL into Ember Spirits, even though that's sort of the natural narrative to go for. It's not the heroes that's... I mean, it's just the fact that they're so far behind, simple as that. And that's not because of the dynamic. It's not like because Ember counters PL, that's why they're 15k gold behind. They kind of just lost out in the lane stage, and in the early game after that, less off the map. Got C9 were getting towers earlier than them, C9 got a rush. And I don't know, we could still get to the stage where PL gets really big and then Ember counters him. But at the moment I feel like every bit of lead that C9 have in this game comes from their early game, from their understanding of like how to just get an advantage and then keep it.
Too Chrysalis. Roshan is still standing. Oh god. CDEC, you really want to put yourselves into this AoE position where there's just a multitude of ultimates that can be thrown down onto you and you can be wiped in seconds. If CDEC get grouped up as 5 and they get hit by the Winter's Curse Vacuum Ice Blast combo with Sleight Fist and Side Blades, just die. They all just die. They've got to be very careful with their positionings in the upcoming team fights. Just make sure they don't clump up too heavily. You know, they've been doing well with that. They've got snowballs, they've got mechs and gangers and things to jump off around, but you know what? Aggressive is dying in a 1v1 against Ritsu's Ember Spirit. This is not what's meant to happen. Ritsu's just cruising through, and now he remnants away. Ice Blast. Oh. Aghanim's Ice Blast. Is that level 2? That's level 2. He's not gonna die to this, though. Fine.
Yeah, he might just live because he can spam the... I think he might die. It's gonna be very close.
God. He's dead, isn't he? Oh no!
Yeah.
I thought he had one more doppelganger in him. But apparently not, and down the bottom lane, Q! Arctic Burn! Gonna go down, and guess what? In from side Brax. Oh, you're not gonna find him, are you? Shiva's Guard, the vacuum back from MSS.
So sad that PL death also, because he kind of like ran back and forth, and at the last second, right before the Ice Blast was gonna hit, stumbled into the AoE of it. By the way, MSS has not died this game, and is thus holding the gem that they stole from Q, and that's another kill, and all of a sudden this game feels like it's extremely close to being over. I mean, there's a rush available, which Brax could freely go take if he wanted, but it looks like they're not going to waste time with that, and they're just going to go get some Raxes.
24 to 10, 40 minutes in, and yeah, they don't care. Care about the big man in his basement, the Rush Mannon. They want the tier 3s, they don't want the Rax, and Liver's available. They can freely have it. Melee Rax down to very little armor. Now, clarity. What's left from CDEC? You've got Shiki up at top lane, the Dragon Knight going into an AC after BKB. Garda, his halberd, not really being useful so far. 437 places the defensive ward ready to go into the Roche pit. And the fact is, they've got all their ultimates up again. They're not missing out on anything.
Yeah, it's a fair rush. Got the rush, then they'll probably go straight back to pushing. There's nothing they really need to wait for. And we're now at a point, like I said in the previous series, I think, we're now at a point where it's not even just about CDC outplaying, it's they need Cloud9 to make some mistakes. That's their route back into this game. They hope for some mistakes.
Overboard is seeing everything. Cheeky could have been caught out there, but the rest of Cloud9 walked them.
They're gonna try get Ritsu.
He's up the top, he's got his Lincoln Sphere. Does he have a remnant? He does have a remnant down towards the bot rune spot. He sees the Phantom Lancer, and you know what? I've pushed this as far as I can. I want to get hit by the Lancer to stun. But again, the spread, bot lane, jungle, top lane, everywhere's being farmed by Cloud9. They've just got a firm grasp on this game.
Yeah, and it's again, pretty clear to me that one team in this game came into it with like a very good understanding of how they want to play Dota right now, and the other team, maybe that's the wrong way to put it, because CDEC have a good understanding of what they want to do, but it doesn't show that they've put much thought into it, if they want to do something different, because their criticism that was made at ESL, and I think it's fair to make it again. Nothing new to their play here, and perhaps it might be said that something new is called for.
Aggressive is again getting 1v1 by Ritsu. Tries to snipe, is gonna miss out on it. Remnant away to safety. Oh no.
Again, he like at the last second walks back into it, and I'm wondering why he isn't spamming his doppelganger. I think he could have maybe gotten 2 off there. Just kind of surrenders, because I think if he uses it straight away, it might just cool down on time to use it again. Not sure.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
He has buyback. I think he might be forced to use it here. Popped, and yeah, time to go all or nothing for CDEC.
The way in which PL just decided to like accept his fate there makes me think that they're like busy discussing what to do next game. They'll like have one last stand here, but don't even fully expect to be able to win it themselves.
So as well, holding on as much as they can. Gonna go in for this fight just yet. They're waiting for Phantom Lance, they're waiting for a situation where maybe you can buy back and TP in, but look at that chains with the Ice Blast. The leader's dead already. Cheeky BKBs. Oh, wall is dropped down, but where the hell is Garda? I hear a punch. Over back, he ain't punching someone up, but it's back towards the middle lane. There's a stun. Over on Ritsu, he's dropping low on the old HP. Oh, he Remnant's back. 420 HP and he gets away. Not going to lose their ranks just yet, but it's inevitable. At this point, aggressive, no doppelganger remaining. They know which one it is as well. MSS will chase him with the Witch's Curse. They'll secure it. No buyback. Dead for a minute and a half. Cheeky, your splash is meaningless. Fraxus finishes you off in a couple of clicks, and that's it. GG's called. CDEC tap out against Cloud9.
Yeah, it's Cloud9 looking fresh, looking sharp, looking like they know what they want to do. CDEC looking honestly a bit predictable. I think that 1437 preparing for this match could have just to this entire draft. He could have just guessed, I'm gonna do this, they'll do that. I'm gonna do this, they'll do that. And having that kind of power going into the draft to decide the entire draft is quite absurd, I would say.